I'm just getting in the mood, in the zone. Ready for the podcast, baby. Copyright strike me. This is going in the podcast.
Gotta be done, innit? Yeah. I'm a little bit ready. I'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I'll do you. Sounds fun drink.
Yeah, you had like one sip. And you're like, oh god.
Actually, I've been drinking since 6. Look, everyone's in the right spot.
Look at Mayhem's little ponytail. Don't you just love it?
He's cute, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'll do him, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Bless him.
I just want to pull on it.
Oof. Yeah.
Babe's got a new fantasy. Uh-oh.
Well, yes, I pulling on Mayhem's ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting quite long, actually. I bet I could have a banging ponytail.
I put your hair in a ponytail, didn't I?
It's a bit longer now. I reckon we could do it.
It's a little bit longer now. Like, we just about put your hair in a ponytail last time, but
yeah, like,
it's a bit longer
it's
now.
like a game show. It's a dramatic entrance.
Look at it. It's so good.
Loves it. He's had the sides of, though. Mine's just fucking blur. Yeah. I tried that, man, but I got the hairline of a 97-year-old, so it didn't pull it off. Just looks stupid.
Not quite 97. Maybe 60.
I'm born like that. It's a condition, babe, and you're just like, you know, bullying me about it.
Yeah, always. What is that?
That's the first
you
warning.
do you, Si. You do you.
Do me if you want me to. Kind of though.
Yeah.
Right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Welcome
can I
to the gaming pit, where we talk about anything.
Stuff.
Are we already rolling? Yeah.
I've been rolling for about
no.
7 minutes.
Oh no.
Good.
Yeah. I got the rebel yell. That might be a little Twitter thing, and maybe, you know.
Look at the kitty.
Yep, that is
Look.
upside down and having the time of its life.
I just want to like get
That's
his
his
belly.
She's latched
I wanna
onto
get his
you,
belly.
or he.
Hey, that's him.
He's latched onto you then.
Oh, I ain't got my lighting on. Oh god, that's actually really...
Okay, now you've ascended.
Ah!
So, you didn't do anything, Mayhem. Tell me about your month, mate. You had a busy one?
I've been busy as fuck, to be honest.
Have you?
I don't even know how that happened. So
Work?
I don't know even how I was busy, but
yeah, but it's just flew.
Yeah. I was like, we're not postponing it.
It
We're just
has
getting,
actually,
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
need to wing it, man. We just need to wing it. It's all good.
it has flew by.
I like your movie idea, though. We can do that next time.
Oh shit! So we're not doing this now, no?
Do you want to do movie one now?
No, whatever. I'm not ready for any of those.
I mean, we don't have to do anything. I've legit only done a top 10
I've got a little thing.
most outrageous military experiments. Beeb's got one thing, which she just did quickly at 7:30.
That is not quite what happened.
It literally just did.
Oh,
Yeah, she writes essays like 5 to 7, like it's just 5 minutes before fucking buzzer, like.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I found something on testicles.
Me like it, but leave it to the end, right? It's gonna be the shortest podcast in the history of Gaming Pit, so we're gonna do the Mayhem Shorts kind of thingy, which is gonna last 5 minutes.
Oh,
Just like me.
nice.
Not even 5 minutes.
I was going to say, that's very generous for me.
Yeah.
That's 5 times as long.
I thought he was going to say 5 seconds, yeah.
And then he drinks from a cup that says, thanks, Dad.
Don't be too generous now, Beep. Sorry.
So, Gaming Pit. We had experiments, but I don't know what's going on. Experiments, movies, TVs, standard one.
I'd say you're ready, right, for today's.
I am, but if no one else is, it's going to be a very short 10-minute podcast about experiments and then 40 minutes of us talking shit. So I don't mind ditching this until anyone else has stuff as well. I don't mind.
Yeah, but Mayhem's got stuff up here.
No, see, everything I have is it's in the back of the head, like MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Then Roll. I think we can do the whole episode about the Roll stuff. There is a Unit 731.
Yeah, so I
Okay.
literally only just come across that while I was discussing and having a look at stuff. I come across that Japan. There was something about against chemicals and stuff, but Japan was like, "Nah, it's fine, and we're doing it anyway," sort of thing. But yeah, that building still exists actually.
That could be a
I
whole
think I
one
saw
then,
a
yeah.
picture of it. But yeah, I've got like 10 little ones and shit like that. But I mean,
You have one about
I come across the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, which we did.
MK Ultra, which
MK Ultra, which we did. Even a
Montauk
couple of the
Care.
Montauk Project. We've done a load of these separately anyway.
Did you come across Kellogg's Krispies?
Right, so
I had to read through that, yeah.
I read through the Mr. Kellogg thing like literally 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I also saw there was a baby called Albert and a white furry rat. The baby got introduced to the rat. Baby didn't give a shit about the rat. And then every time they introduced the rat to the baby, they started blaring loud noises. So the baby shit itself every time it see this rat. So eventually they stopped playing the loud noises. And every time they showed this baby the rat, it crapped itself. So for the rest of this baby's life, because this was like
it's now going to be scared of rats.
early 1900s, I think, it was scared of anything small and furry, cats, anything.
Oh, really?
Absolutely terrified. And the person was a wet nurse at the hospital. The mother, sorry, was a wet nurse at the hospital, and they paid her $1 to use her baby for this experiment.
$1.
$1. So
what?
Obviously, it's in the times when you're getting probably like sixpence for
$1
work or something.
for her baby's lifetime of misery with small animals.
There's quite a few of them that popped up. There was some quite like my military ones are calm compared to what people have just done randomly just to see. There was one where there were triplets and they took them all
up
and just lobbed them about. And then by accident, one of the triplets found someone and was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
You look like me."
It's because they were actually identical. Because they were identical, they kind of walked into each other. Was like, wait a minute.
And two of them found each other.
I seen it on the telly. That was Discovery or Nat Geo or something like that. I seen it.
I just read about it, but I think it was the same one. Yeah, so breaking up triplets, but then you've got all this stuff going on in Nazi time. Doctor Death.
There's a lot of them. Yeah, Nazi stuff is a hell of a lot.
Putting in needles in your eye and injecting them to try and change the pigment color to make it blue.
As you do.
Torturing one twin to see if another twin would. I'm good as well. Yeah, see if the sad face gonna get sent to the gas chamber. Fuck.
No, God
damn it. Nice knowing you guys.
Let's not get cancelled before we can take off. But yeah, I was just looking up loads of mad stuff, man. And I just literally looked up this one. It's not a military experiment or even a gross one, but there was a guy that was making parachutes, and he was that he was just sewing them together, and he was chucking dummies off the roof, and they were just failing every time, and the dummies were smashing. And then he was like,
look at his face.
He's like, the building's not tall enough. It's not my fault. My experiment's sick. So he went to the top of the Eiffel Tower. He turned his parachute into a suit, basically, and he jumped off. But the parachute, he was meant to throw a dummy off to a massive audience, but he put on the suit and jumped off himself and died. And the parachute didn't open at all. But the only reason the parachute didn't open at all is because he died of a fucking heart attack when he leapt off the Eiffel Tower. So the coroner was like, he had a heart attack. He didn't even get a chance to pull the suit. He was like, oh, fuck, man.
I call it unfinished experiment, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, practical part one.
We need another specimen to do it again.
Anyone in the crowd. Come on, the suit's still intact. Just go back up and do it again. But yeah,
I think his blooming parachute didn't even kill him though. Like,
just the thought of jumping off the building, just
the Empire State Building. Yeah, he's probably just scared of heights. He didn't realise it until he stepped off. Probably froze up.
Feeling being flattened on the ground or having a heart attack. Heart attack.
But
yeah,
I reckon
true. Yeah,
I don't think a heart attack is that quick a death. So I think you are probably going to die from the fall.
Go down?
I wonder if he also felt like himself hitting the floor,
or
whether he was
standard parachute jump is what, like
15,000
feet, and I think it's 1 minute or something.
He said Eiffel Tower, didn't he?
And he said Eiffel Tower, which is probably about 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, I say so. I never tried it.
He was probably having a
We'll get you
heart
a suit.
attack and felt him like splat against the floor.
But,
That's even worse.
yeah, but I don't know how the coroner, maybe the suit contained him in such a way they could do that. Because if you're jumping off the Eiffel Tower, it's the really...
You'd be pretty messed up. Yeah.
You know, how have they said,
a little bit broken.
This is definitely a heart attack.
Well, just to audio listeners, I apologize because I pressed pause on the recording and we missed the bit of the beginning, so apologies.
Do you want me to play Rebel Yell again by Joanne? We can all just have a look.
No, you do that. You just send me a quick video on it.
Yeah, no worries. You can just download it off the thing.
Oh, dear.
Post it on Twitter there.
Oh, there's Dr. William Beaumont and the stomach. So I've not even got to my stuff yet. Right, I was helping Beeb look stuff up 45 minutes ago, so everything's all fresh in my head at the minute. So I've got Dr. William Beaumont and the stomach. So in 1820-22, wow, that was a lot more numbers than I wanted to say. I've had a lot of rum. I started at 6.
2022, yeah? Okay.
Without the 20. 1822, a fur trader, blah, 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 on the island of Michigan was accidentally shot in the stomach, and he was treated by Dr. William Beaumont. Despite dire predictions, the fur trader survived. So he got shot in the stomach, but it blew a hole in his stomach. So you could, like a cartoon, you could see through his stomach what was behind him, like a cartoon.
Nice, yeah.
So they used this to their advantage, and they made him like eat stuff with string around the food, so you could dangle it.
No.
So you could see the food.
Surely he was dead.
No, he
How
lived.
did he survive that with a hole in his stomach?
He was good, man. So basically, from that, they literally determined in 1822 that the worldwide acceptance that digestion was a chemical, not a mechanical process. Shot hole in him, man, like a cartoon.
Okay.
And they actually, but though gruesome, it is. They turned out that's how they found out.
I bet that was quite interesting to watch, though.
But imagine not like leaking vital stuff, like when you lie down to have a snooze or something.
He probably didn't last very long, surely.
Did you have to stay up all the time? So it says, but with a hole, fistula, in his stomach that never healed, recognizing the unique opportunity to observe the digestive process, Beaumont began conducting experiments. Beaumont would tie food to a string, then insert it through the hole in the trader's stomach. Only a few hours, Beaumont would remove the food to observe how it had been digested. So not only is it going down into the acid, he's pulling it up after a few hours to see what's happened to the food, man.
That's savage, like.
That's amazing.
And
I
your
kind of
body
want to see it.
I want to poo because I've had food, but there's nothing in me now because you've pulled it out on a string. So now I just need poo.
I just don't know how he didn't die from having a hole in his stomach. Surely he would have had to like move his intestines out of the way and be like, come on boys, now do it.
Yeah, legit.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
And there was a pretty sick experiment with prison inmates done with students or something. I don't know if I can find it.
Yes, when they were told to one be inmates and one be
so they split them into two groups. Yeah, so it was a 2-week experiment, but they had to cancel it after 6 days because they had one side being the guards, one side being the prisons, and the guards, even the nicest of people with no mental health. This was a mental health study as well. Yeah. They started beating up the people and stuff. The people in the cell had to be taken out because they were so stressed and full of anxiety.
The cell people had like depression. The other guys
like, oh, I'm a guard now.
Bullied,
it's just a bit of role play. I'm a guard. You're a prisoner. That's fine. We'll bring you dinner and stuff. 3 days later, he's like beating him and bumming him and loving it. So it was like, you're a bit sadistic, mate. Just going through a few from earlier. The stomach one was pretty good. There's like electroshock.
That's really good. I like
that. Therapy on children and stuff. There's like hepatitis in mentally disabled children. Operation Midnight Climax. That sounds good. He sponsored mind control research program. Operation Midnight Climax sought to study the effect of LSD on individuals.
Yes, MK Ultra.
Oh, okay.
So it does sound like that, but it's got a different name. San Francisco, New York.
All those projects by MK Ultra had anything done with it was connected with sex porn or anything, like had the names the
it's
most
even we found ties to Charles Manson, the cult.
The one we will mention, yeah.
Apparently he was part of the MK Ultra experiments, which is why he turned out to be a bit of a fucking psychopath.
Well, thanks to those experiments, they can do with us what they're doing at the moment. So, but I'm not going into this.
And if you want, we've got some time to fill apparently because no one did anything.
Now, did you hear when Size is looking up stuff? Did you hear that about the McDonald's bubblegum flavored broccoli? Have you heard that?
Go on,
I
babe.
read this out to Sai, okay? And then he was there in his own little world, and I read the whole thing out to him, and he was just like, yeah. And I was like, Sai, did you just hear anything I just said? And he was like,
No.
what?
Yeah, so I was just zoned out, but then that come out and went broccoli.
Actually, and then he was like, I heard the word broccoli.
Yeah.
So Sai doesn't know much about it. I read it.
So go on,
I've
babe.
never heard that in Ireland, but they apparently they tried it like 8 years ago.
Mm.
Well, that recent.
Recently
Yeah,
was.
8 years ago.
It wasn't McDonald's, was it?
Yeah.
What
McDonald's
do-
tried to basically make broccoli taste like bubblegum to,
They
make the
Well,
kids
They've
eat
done
healthy.
it anyway with cereal and all that stuff. They've tried to do all sorts like that. There was a whole cereal made out of vegetables, I think, and that didn't go very well.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't though? Good idea.
Tastes like shit. Yeah, MK Ultra's
Tastes
on
like
there.
vegetables.
Experiments on newborns, man.
You're just skipping through the titles. Come on,
Oh, let me go through my top 10.
expand on subject,
The
please.
effect of radiation
go.
on testicles between 1963 and
That's
19...
what I've got.
No.
Yeah,
Well, actually, no, wait.
It was
No,
the Stanford
mine's not.
prison experiment, the one that we just said.
Yeah, mine's not really radiation, actually. No, mine's not on radiation.
So a bit more on the Stanford prison experiment, if you want to hear the legit version, not the quick, I've just read this version. Conducted at Stanford University from August 14 to the 20th, 1971, the Stanford prison experiment was an investigation into the cause of conflicts between military guards and prisoners. 24 male students were chosen and randomly assigned roles of prisoners and guards. They were then situated in a specially designed mock prison in the basement of the Stanford Psychology Building. Those subjects assigned to the guards enforced authorization measures and subjected the prisoners to psychological torture. This is like straight off the bat. You're a guard. Straight off the bat, they immediately went down there and was like,
Yeah, but-
psychological torture time, boys. It's like, you probably know these people. You're at the same
If they're
school,
a nice,
man.
they couldn't have been a nice person to begin with, but apparently they were normal people.
Yeah, that's it, because it was done by the mental health
The
people.
position
weren't
they
Yeah.
put in, the changes you straight away, and that's what they wanted to observe.
That's mad, isn't
So
it?
The results they got,
the results
they're
were,
amazingly.
yeah, surprisingly, many of the prisoners accepted the abuses. So some of them were just like, shit, this is my life now. You've been in there fucking a few
I'm a
days.
prisoner. This is what I'm meant to. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like, beat me. Fuck it. Like, through the experiment exceeded the expectations of all researchers. It was abruptly ended only 6 days after. So within 6 days, all these normal people are going down there and just submitting torture and fucking all sorts, man.
If I was chucked in there, I think I'd like have a little bit of banter with the prisoners and stuff, but I don't think I'd go full on crazy and start like actual torturing them. You know, I don't think I've got it in me.
It's ridiculous. We got all these syphilis ones, like syphilis experiments in Guatemala, the Tuskegee syphilis study, which we just said about, which is giving black people syphilis, basically telling them it was to help them. Didn't tell them it was syphilis. They were trying to kill them off.
No way.
Yeah,
That's mad.
Coming back to Stanford, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you know how much were they paid for that?
I can't remember.
$15 per day.
$15 a day.
$15 per day, yeah.
Is that all?
That's
I would have definitely rather been on the guard side.
So just remember that back in the day, that's like more than 50 years ago, 51 years ago. $15 a day.
Yeah, what
Mad.
was that? That was 1963 and 1973. Oh, between night. How was that? Oh no, that's the
What,
test.
6
No, that's all right.
6 days between
I'm
that?
reading the wrong one. It was 1971, Mayhem.
1970, 51 years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
So
$15. I don't know what.
It's still not. It's still not that much. Like, don't get me wrong, it was more, but it still wasn't loads.
And now you get that an hour for work. So there's inflation for you. So what would an hour of work be back then? Fucking
couple of quid.
Okay, let's. I have an inflation calculator, right? So $15. $15 in 1971 is worth $108 today.
So $108 probably works out to about 90 quid.
So,
And you can either have been the
it's day rate,
torturer
right?
or
Well,
tortured.
I'm not sure if you get to choose your sides, but yeah, 24 people,
Yeah.
12 on 12.
it's not a bad pay because that would be.
That's actually not too bad, is it? Yeah.
105 quid, right? There's 12 guys downstairs. If you want to go and psychologically abuse them for 6 days.
There you go, and you paid for that, or you paid for being
Yeah.
beaten as well.
I'd have dragged it out though, man. It's only 600 quid there.
I think they was going. It was supposed to go for 1 to 2 weeks, was it?
Yeah, it's supposed to go for 2
I think
weeks,
it's
and
a
they had
couple
to
weeks,
cut it
yeah.
short. It was like, oh shit, we've run out of prisoners. All the guards are like, we love it.
Man.
Like, But that's crazy, man. What that experiment. There's human experimentation, Soviet Union, beginning in 1921.
And there's still shit that we will never know and we'll never find out. Like.
Oh god, yeah. So beginning in 1921 and continuing for the most of the 21st century, the Soviet Union employed poison laboratories known as Laboratory 1, Laboratory 12, and Chimera as covert research facilities of secret police agencies. Prisoners from the gulags were exposed to numbers of deadly poisons, the purpose of which to find a tasteless, odorless chemical that could not be detected post-mortem.
Oh, no way. Okay.
So tested poisons include mustard gas, ricin, digitoxin, and curare. Among others, men and women of varying ages and physical conditions were brought to laboratories and given the poisons as medication or as part of a meal to drink. So they pull them out of the gulag. So basically, if you're in the gulag, you're in there forever. It doesn't even matter then. So they're pulling them out and giving them these. What reminds you of this odorless, tasteless?
Keanu Reeves escaped from gulag, you know.
Thing. what was that? Where the Russian spy or whatever was poisoned in the restaurant in the UK? But that was radiation.
Navalny, was it? Was it the Navalny guy? No, that's that's him, is it?
I'm not sure. I can't remember the name, but he was poisoned in a cafe, wasn't he? But they discovered traces of radiation and stuff. But there is actually a cat's about to fall off the shelf. That's all right. What was has anyone seen Gross Point Blank? It's an old film, and he goes to his old school reunion because he has to kill someone there. So basically, this exists as well. He's in the vents, and someone's asleep, snoring like on a bed, and he drops a piece of like string all the way to the mouth, and he just drips this drop of poison, goes all the way down the string, drips off into his mouth. That's it. Guy has a heart attack, undetectable shit like that. So.
Okay. Yeah.
That shit actually exists. North Korea, don't even know what they're up to.
Yeah, I won't go there for me.
We're talking about Russians, but they actually did experiments on dogs as well. There was a guy called Demikov. He was a surgeon, and his studies have had medical science advance, especially in the field of organ transplant. So he created a two-headed dog.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is actually things about that cloning sheep and all that anyway, isn't there? They've successfully done that. Yeah. I don't know. Who
they
did
have
that.
done the sheep, yeah.
But back to Russians. Yeah, go on.
So they stitched the head, shoulders, and front legs of puppy onto the neck of German Shepherd. Although surgery was a success, as both dogs could move around independent of each other, they didn't survive very long due to tissue rejection. So he created 20
just
such
because they wasn't
dogs.
Compatible. Oh, and what happened? Did any live on?
Well, at least we know the dogs were going into for experiments in Russia and in China. Just they're eaten.
They haven't got a good record with dogs because they actually sent one to space.
Yeah,
he's not coming back.
They really?
Yeah, the first thing in space. I think before America, wasn't it? The Russians sent a dog to space.
Yeah, it was
before America got in.
Poor dog.
You put just the bones up there in a spaceship, just floating about forever.
That's mad.
Literally forever. Just the bones of a dog. Yeah. Oh, actually, you wouldn't decompose, would you?
Yeah.
Talking about Russians as well, have you heard about zombie dogs?
I'm not sure. I've heard about the real life zombie thing.
Have you never seen any?
No. But there was actually a disease that replicates zombies and a craving for human flesh.
Experiments in the revival of organisms. So a Russian scientist, Dr. Sergei Brukhenko and Boris Levanovsky, released a video of dog heads that were kept alive by an artificial blood circulation system. They were using a special hard lung apparatus called auto-ejector. The scientists showed dog heads responded to sound by wiggling their ears, blinking eyes, and even licking their mouths. The experiment was repeated again by American scientists in 2005. Of course, American will repeat it because, they have to, by flushing the blood from the dog and replacing it with oxygen and sugar-filled saline. After 3 hours, a blood transfusion and electric shock, the dogs were back from dead.
Okay.
So remember that Futurama?
Was it a potato?
They keep head of Nixon in
they keep the heads in a jar. But when you were saying that, I was thinking because I was just reading this Unit 731, which I'll do a paragraph of in a minute. But if you want to do a full podcast on it, we can. On Futurama or Simpsons, I think they replaced someone's organ. He's like, quick, replace it. And then he lobbed him a potato and he put it in and replaced his heart. And he's like, I'm alive. And he lived for 4 seconds and died again. But that was pretty good. But yeah, this Unit 731, which Mayhem was on about at the start, was from 1937 to 1945, so World War II. The Imperial Japanese Army developed a covert biological and chemical warfare research experiment called Unit 731. Based on the large city of Harbin, Unit 731 was responsible for some of the most atrocious war crimes in history. Chinese and Russian subjects, men, women, children, infants, and elderly and pregnant women were subjected to experiments which included the removal of organs from a live body, amputation for the study of blood loss, germ warfare attacks, and weapon testing. Some prisoners even had their stomachs surgically removed and their esophagus reattached to the intestines. Many of the scientists involved in Unit 731 rose to prominent careers in politics, academia, business, and medicine.
Okay.
So that's all that says on it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're doing the whole thing.
A delve deeper into that would probably prove a little bit useful there, because obviously that went on from 1937, so they were doing that before a war was even there, and they was already experimenting on Chinese and Russian subjects.
So basically, during
literally 2 years before World War II started.
That would come out from Japan. So the prisoners of war of the Second World War would actually experience all those experiments on as well.
Mm.
So many Americans and Australians and New Zealanders, the Kiwis, they could probably experience themselves and died from those experiments.
Oh, legit, yeah. I mean,
Think
swapping your
That's
esophagus
mad,
with other stuff.
It's not going to work, is it?
Now, have you heard about Unabomber?
Yes.
Tech Kaczynski.
Yes.
Have you heard about that lad? He was a part of experiment. They're gone wrong.
Okay.
So it's the experiment actually produced the Unabomber. So it says that as an undergrad at Harvard in the late 1950s, 60s, Kaczynski participated in a 3-year-long study run by Henry A. Murray that explored the effects of stress on the human psyche. After being asked to submit an essay about their worldview and personal philosophies, Kaczynski and 21 other students were interrogated under bright lights, wired to electrodes, and completely torn down for their beliefs. The techniques were intended to break enemy against agents during the Cold War, and the students were never completely informed about the nature of the study. In short, the man who would eventually kill 3 people and injure over 20 more with his homemade bombs was subjected to repeated psychological torture.
Is this
okay?
There's a show on Netflix. How true is Netflix's Unabomber? So is this Fitzgerald told Bustle magazine August 2007? It's a high 80% chance that this show on Netflix it's an 80% chance that everything on there is true, basically.
Oh, they've actually done a show on it.
So that might be worth.
I'm kind of. Let's dive into Netflix at the moment. They're pissed me off big time. Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, season 3. I haven't started
Season
it yet.
3. Who the fuck is Victor? That's the only question I'm going to ask you. And if you watch it, man, I've started watching.
I'm going to watch it, but me and Bieber on The Boys at the minute.
The Boys are so good.
I know.
So good.
We're only on season 2 though. We haven't started season 3 yet.
Have you? Ah, so
we just got to the bit actually where there was that epic sex scene where he lasered the boobs and then they were just going at it in the chandelier and the room was falling down and they were just flying and having sex. It was sick.
That's the funniest. And then what's his name? The guy from Chronicles of Riddick and
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban is absolutely amazing.
Butcher.
Yeah.
I love Carl Urban, man. Yeah,
he's
Riddick,
so good.
Thor Ragnarok, man, he's fucking amazing in that.
Yeah, he's good.
So good.
Riddick actually, and then is in Star Trek as well.
Yes, he is actually, and he's He's in one of the Bournes as well, where he's actually hunting down Matt Damon as well, which is pretty sick.
Movies.
He's great. He is, yeah.
Carl Urban, man, he's fucking sick, man.
I'm loving Boys. Are so good.
Well, I finished Obi-Wan, and
Obi-Wan was amazing.
What are you on episode?
Finished.
You finished it?
Oh, it was
okay,
so good.
We can all talk about it then. Spoilers.
So good.
5 minutes. Fucking sick, wasn't it? Actually.
Fucking
sick.
Loved it. It's like missing something. It's like there's going to be another season. I hope.
Yeah. So basically,
there's rumors there is.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen and they said, yeah, we want to do season 2. Basically, let us back.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen looked like it's done 20 years ago, isn't he?
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
CGI at his best.
Well, actually, saying that, the Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker popped up. A CGI or an actor.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure, because the end of season 1 Mandalorian, obviously Luke appeared, he was fully CGI, had the green saber, fucked everyone up, and I was like, holy shit, that was sick. Then obviously in season 2, or he's in Boba Fett season 1. I get confused, but he might have been in Boba Fett.
Crossovers with Mandalorian
Yeah,
episodes. 'Cause
season episode 4 or 5,
crossovers.
the Mandalorian comes back anyway. But yeah, it was bloody good, man. Because I don't know if it's CGI'd or an actor, but he looks fucking like identical to Luke Skywalker, which was insane. Anyway, torture.
Yeah. From the movies, go back to psychology, torture, pulling testicles, changing kids' bubble gums into
broccoli, which is the worst one we've spoke about today, I think.
I wouldn't mind if that was a fresh broccoli.
Fresh broccoli.
Boiled broccoli.
Yeah.
That's gonna be disgusting.
So what is it like in a packet, and you open it and you eat it?
If you open a fresh broccoli, you get a different smell than you boil it. It's still the same flavor and the same
Soggy
taste.
broccoli.
You get
Soggy bubblegum broccoli.
That's why I prefer my vegetables al dente, which means not cooked properly, like so.
Oh, okay.
That's an Italian phrase, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. What you said about the Unabomber, he's actually in federal prison, in a medical facility in North Carolina at the minute. He's spending the last 2 decades in a federal supermax prison.
He's still alive.
In Colorado for a series. That was on 24th of December 2021, it said. So...
there was another experiment. Have you heard about? It's not experiments gone wrong, but it's a very interesting experiment on humans and dogs. Have you ever seen a movie 21 Grams? It's the old movie. I'd say it's more than 15 years.
Don't think so. No.
Right, so it's a movie 21 Grams. It's a belief that when you die, so you're being weighed just before you die, and then you weigh just after you die. Right? I don't know why it's done. And you basically lose 21 grams of your weight. And they believe that 21 grams is your soul.
Oh, okay.
It's a good theory.
But in 1901, Duncan MacDowell conducted experiments on extremely recently deceased people and dogs to see if their body weight changed immediately after death. So a decrease in weight, he theorized, would be indicative of physical soul leaving the body. To test his theory, he weighed 6 people before and after deaths and concluded that there was a weight difference anywhere from 1/2 to 1.5 ounces, which is around 15 to 21 grams. So it's like 3 compact discs if you put them together. Compact discs
is he weighing? Is this like people that have been sentenced to death, so he knows they're going to die?
Yeah.
So I'll weigh you now, and I'll weigh you in 5 minutes when you're dead.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Which is very interesting. But it makes you think, doesn't it? What happens to that 21? Is it your last breath? Is it the amount of oxygen you have in your body?
Yeah, surely it's something like that.
Breath, and because you do that, I don't know. I haven't died yet, but you do.
That's good to know, man.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Still alive. Like I haven't. Been
it's like on Pulp Fiction. What's in the suitcase?
Don't fucking ask what's in the suitcase.
It's the soul of the guy. That's why he wants it.
It's very interesting, isn't it?
People say it's his soul.
Is it?
We'll talk about that when we get to movies. I want to put that in there, actually. I'll take note. I've got a pen.
Is the next one going to be on movies then, yeah?
I love movies. I think we could all speak about movies just off the top of our head, willy-nilly. We could have a list of like remakes, like you said,
it,
or remakes and stuff.
Yeah, I can go through remakes and bad remakes and sequels and bad sequels.
Man, like the Terminator, Rambos and stuff. We could pick them
I love
to
Rambos. I don't remake them at all. Just leave them the way they are.
Yeah, well, he's finished now, isn't he? He just did his last one.
Leave them the way they are because, he grows older and
Those knives are sharp, boy.
Yeah, I know.
I got the Rambo 3 one there.
Is that the one in Russia, is it?
Yeah.
Is Rambo 3 in Russia?
It says on there. I think so.
Oh yeah, Rambo 3, yeah, I can see it.
I still wonder why Rambo 3 is still allowed in cinemas and being broadcasted because he's actually siding with Taliban and.
So it is actually banned in Vietnam and places like that.
Some countries it is,
because
isn't it?
you know the 50 cal scene where he's just like,
yeah,
and they're all just getting fucking fucked, right? I did a reaction to that on my movie reaction channel, and it was like banned in everywhere that's near Vietnam. I was like, all right. I was like, but then it got like 10,000 views because America was like, America.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
he's always
God.
cutting people in half with the knives, and he's like,
Yeah.
got like fucking, and he's got these explosive arrowheads. I've got the Rambo compound bow. That's Rambo's one that I've got.
Yeah.
And he shoots the helicopter. Ridiculous, man. I could get into movies, but we're doing talk show. I've got a top 10. Do you want to listen to my top 10?
Yeah, let's go, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you've actually written it?
Before you go, do you have experiment? It's not human experiments gone wrong, but have you heard about the experiment? There was a guy. He actually drew a straight line from the human organism to the weather or alien invasion.
What?
Yeah,
What?
read that till the end. I'll read it out till the end.
Okay.
You've baffled me, man.
Yeah,
Yes.
there is a guy that actually did that, and he compared that our organism is as like the Force from Star Wars.
No.
All right, cool. I'll definitely
Okay,
wanna
that's
listen to that one.
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I go. Fuck it, I'll do it, right?
Yeah, you've twisted my arm.
Yeah.
Before you go to top 10, right?
Yeah, go for it.
So William Reich managed to draw a straight line from human organism to the weather
Cat.
to alien invasion. So he was actually influenced by Freud, and Freud was working on the human libido, and Reich extended that concept to propose a kind of widespread energy he called orgone. I don't know what he.
What's this called?
To give an idea how a scientifically sound Greek concept was, orgone or orgon, ORGONE, has been compared to force in Star Wars. This energy was supposedly responsible for everything from the weather to why the sky is blue. The sky is blue is because when we see it. Okay, we know that.
What?
Reich believed
He's a Smurf.
Reich believed orgasms were a discharge of organ, and that through the manipulation of this energy, you could treat neuroses and even cancer. So if you die with cancer, the more times you shag, the more chances you have to survive.
Nice.
Babe, we need to get on this
Remember that.
immediately.
As bizarre as this sounds, Reich even went further in the late 1950s. Okay, this is 1950s. You know, people thought the moon is plasma. We're going back to flat Earth. Even further in the late 1950s, when he became convinced that the aliens were spraying the earth with specific type of radiation to prevent us from using this powerful energy in order to save the world. He and his son built cloud busters, right? A row of tubes attached to hoses immersed in the water and aimed at the sky.
The hose. Yeah.
Right? The water, they believed, would absorb the radiation. Well, did the experiment work? We don't know that for sure, but the FDA didn't think so. They ordered Reich's various machines and the apparatus destroyed and had him jailed for trying to smuggle them out of state.
Yeah, it's not FDA approved, no.
That's probably not, no.
No, I'm just
That's
thinking
mad.
if it's not FDA approved, it's probably safe.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but that's the funny thing.
That's mad.
But he actually he wasn't that far away from something. There are experiments.
Just went the wrong way about it.
Yeah, there are experiments thinking that they're they're trying to tell us that we're average and we're just here like animals and all that stuff. But there are experiments, and it's not ancient alien stuff and shit like that. But there are actually experiments and theories trying to prove that we are more than that. It's a pineal gland that we have in there. They're trying to destroy at the moment with all the chemicals, with all the drugs and all that stuff. So there are ways to, all those meditations and Buddhism and stuff like that, mantras, back in the day by Buddhism, they actually did discover some kind of next level of our existence, which is very interesting. I've been looking into it. Maybe next episode I'm going to be doing some levitation and down by who knows. I'm only messing, guys. But it's very interesting just to do the research on it. But that's when I was reading about the Cloudbusters that actually brought me into that. That's me deviating from the very important top 10 brought to you by Sai.
So the only one's done anything this week, and we're missing.
No, I did a thing, did I?
We've done right, because
no. Oh, have you done yours, babe? Do you want to do yours after?
I can do mine now if you want. Because I've only got one, but it's up to you.
Yeah, I know you love testicles. Let's have it.
Testicle experiment, isn't it?
It's not that good.
Yeah, go on.
It's not actually that good. It's just, I don't know, it's quite funny, really.
Okay.
Funny testicles.
Yeah.
If they're being cut off,
It's a bit
at that
sexist,
point-
that, isn't it, Mayhem, really?
They're not just being cut off. That's a little bit worse.
This is going to
Apparently,
make
this
us
was
cross our legs.
around.
I'm listening.
yeah. Around 1913 to 1951, a guy called Leo Stanley was the chief surgeon at San Quentin State Prison, which apparently was California's oldest correctional institution. So, after performing vasectomies on prisoners, whom he recruited through promises of improved health and vigour, Stanley turned his attention to the emerging field of endocrinology, which involves the study of certain glands and the hormones they regulate. So, first of all, he's kind of said to the printers, like, I tell you what, I'll sort you out.
Cut your
I'll
balls
do
off
vasectomy
and you'll
on
be
you.
a better man.
Yeah, apparently so.
He down in here. Yeah, please do.
Yeah, please, Kelly. Yeah,
That sounds like a riveting idea.
yeah. Said nobody ever.
Said no one ever, unless you are, you know who you are.
Oh, yeah.
One of those rainbow people.
Apparently, he believed the effects of aging and decreased hormones contributed to criminality and weak morality and poor physical attributes. He then had the bright idea of transplanting the testicles of a younger man into those who were older, thinking it would restore their masculinity. So, pull out the testicles of a younger man and transplant them into an older man
Wow,
to help
babe.
the older man out.
You're really selling this.
I'm already in pain deep. Seriously,
She's
I'm already
really
in
selling
pain.
I've
this.
got hold of them.
Yeah, so we're getting the new
This
balls,
one, and then
and
you
we're
have this one.
swapping with the
and then
old balls, and we have new man. But what happens to the man that just had his balls off? He's
Well, no,
not masculine
apparently.
Oh, they
anymore.
were replaced, so you got the old ones.
So 8-year-old
apparently-
balls.
No, he began using the testicles
See
of
the cat knew that
executed
cat was
prisoners.
going, man.
Did he nearly fall?
It did fall. It grabbed onto the top by one paw.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
It was going
No,
the whole last 45 minutes. It has been slowly.
And he used the testicles of the executed prisoners.
Okay.
So they were about to they would die. They'd basically dead. But he ran into a supply shortage because there was more people wanting younger testicles than there was people being executed. So
You need to execute more people for testicles.
yeah.
What's on menu today? Execution.
Yeah.
Yep.
For your balls.
Nice, got me a new young testicle.
New balls
Can we
coming.
pairs, babe?
Yeah, just the one, yeah.
Just a Uno testy.
So, because there was a shortage, he then solved this by using the testicles of animals, including goats and deer. At first, he physically implanted the testicles directly into the inmates, but that had complications.
Yeah, no
Maybe
shit.
because they were animals.
Compatibility- Yeah, well,
So he switched to a new plan.
have these ball
He then-
balls. Kudunk.
Yeah, well, yeah, imagine.
Would you like some Red Bull?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Gish it wings. Give me
Oh,
fucking
I
something.
wouldn't want to be carrying them about.
Imagine.
Oh,
I don't know.
no.
Never tried.
Quick,
I
come
want-
here, woman. I need
Oh,
to
you don't
relieve myself. Like fucking up the wall, man.
Like hose
That
pipe.
movie about her. There,
Scary movie.
Seen one of the
Yeah,
movies.
no,
Scary movie. Hose pipes into the walls, like sticks you to it.
Oh, dude.
Um,
So after that didn't work, obviously, he then decided to try a new plan.
This sounds like a guy that's just sort of winging it.
I probably yes.
Yeah.
He was, because he's just going, you know,
Put
He
these
doesn't know
in
what's
there.
going on.
What if
Yeah,
this
go
does
on,
this? Yeah.
He ground up the animal testicles into a paste. He then injected it into the prisoner's abdominums.
So kind of monster.
So he then decided to grind them up and inject them instead. Apparently, there's an estimated 10,000 testicular procedures he performed, which I think is
That is a
Is
man
a bit
dedicated to
mental.
balls.
how many? How many?
10,000.
10,000
So there's 10,000.
between 1913 and 1951.
That's 20,000 balls.
That's a lot of balls.
That's a lot of balls. Like a
That's a
ball
lot of
pit
balls.
at Disneyland.
But yeah, so what on earth he was thinking about this experiment, I've got no idea. But apparently the people, why would you be a prisoner? If someone came up to you and you were in prison, be like, tell you what, I'll give you some younger balls and you're going to be right.
Yeah, if you
You're going
take
to be
10
like,
years
no,
off my
leave my balls
sentence.
alone. Yeah. So yeah, mad.
Ah,
Who knows?
but
Yeah.
there you go,
No.
viewers and simps. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So I'm going top 10 when everyone thinks about Beeb's balls. We're going from 10 down to 1. They're not in any order. So this is a top 10 outrageous military experiments. So we've got military. Some of these are stupid. But yeah, we'll go for it. So number 10, we got DARPA and their Inner Armor Project. This will attempt to give humans the abilities of some animals, like the bar-headed goose, which is known to crash into jets at 36,000 feet. So high altitude conditioning, and then we've got the stellar sea lion, which directs the blood flow away from organs during deep sea dives. So the DARPA Inner Armor Project was find an animal that has a unique feature and try and extract that and put it into humans. So a geese that can fly at 36,000 feet, a human can also not fly, but survive altitudes at 36,000 feet with nothing, and also allow like Navy SEALs to dive deeper and move blood flow away from vital organs, allowing them to go deeper, harder, faster, stronger. Daft Punk. So yeah, there's that. Number 9 is a 24/7 warrior, a bit like me. So sleep can be a warrior's worst enemy. They have tried many drugs over the years, but most recently is something called Provigil, which can keep a soldier awake for 40 plus hours with no ill effect. So obviously we've gone through sleep experimentation, things like that before, especially when it comes to soldiers. Yeah. But, so 40 hours is pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
But it's nearly 2 days awake solid. But I mean, you could probably do that anyway, but you wouldn't be as alert. So you can go 40 hours. You could probably do it, hours.
But you'd be, Yes,
well, Mayhem.
You may speak.
Thank you. I'm learning how to not interrupt.
You're doing well.
I'm trying to be a good podcast host and colleague.
You do well.
No, that reminds me. The American soldiers and most of the soldiers around the world apparently are trained how to fall asleep on the spot.
Right, so like I need to rest now and it's safe. I
rest now and I have
sort of hypnosis,
going through kind of stuff, and they just go fall asleep for that time.
So I found all this stuff by Googling, because you was like, let's do experiments, and then I was like, experiments, and I was like, Captain America, super soldier experiments, and then I went on to a massive deep dive of people trying to make super soldiers, and there was quite a lot of fucked up shit, but quite a lot of stuff
going on. There's some experiments. Well.
They're still doing them nowadays. Yeah, for example, so you can have a concoction of stuff. So you can have these warriors that are fighting for 40 hours non-stop, and you could have them, being able to dive into the sea and shit. Like you could do everything. Look at this, psychic vision. The Pentagon roughly spent 20 million. So we've actually covered this before on the Montauk project. The Pentagon roughly spent 20 million testing extrasensory powers from 1972 to 1996. The CIA declassified such projects in 2002, such as Stargate and Grill Flame. So Stargate project, off the top of my head, was a bunch of people that had a higher psychic ability than other people that passed certain tests that other people didn't. They would show them envelopes, and there was something in the envelope, a picture of a knife, a picture of an Asian man for some weird reason, and something else, and they would show them, and they would have to guess what was in it. And then, I don't know if someone got it right or whatever, they would try and show them a picture of a person that would try and then predict or see something on the other side. Okay. They would try and predict events that would happen in, and they had this running for fucking like 20-30 years or whatever, where they would predict bad things happening, and then they would go to these, there's going to be a plane crash at 7 o'clock on these, like one of them came pretty close. I think there was like 40 miles off an incident, but out of everything over the 20 or 30 years, I think it was just one fluke.
Yeah.
No, that was Nicolas Cage and no one.
No. Con Air.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah. That Friday feeling.
Yeah.
That was what's the fucking other guy? Cyrus the Virus, man. John Malkovich, man. Yeah. Oh, that was such a good film.
That reminds me, if you bring the memories of the Montauk Project, I think that was one of our best podcasts. But it's too bad we're all and Beep didn't join us.
Oh my god, me and Mayhem just chatted for about an hour and a half, I think.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a bit longer, because we did all the Montauk Project, and then we actually had the conversation of, so there was a special division trained in the art of what was it, telepathic warriors they were called, I think, and they was trained in the art of battling. So there was in this like whatever state, and there was battling in this realm with other Russian soldiers that were trained to do the same thing. So you would pass through a plane basically, and in this plane, it'd be like on a game when you go through one portal, you walk through a little plane, God of War, and you go for you end up somewhere else. So in the middle of this plane,
Okay.
you'd bump into it'd be yes. So you'd bump into like a Russian soldier, and he'd be like don't, and he'd just and you'd bump into a Russian soldier by accident, and you'd have this psychic battle, but you're just sat in a chair doing this, like fuck, man.
But if you die, you die.
If you die, you die. It's like the Matrix.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
but,
way.
Funny though.
Yeah, but we just went on that for like fucking like nearly 2 hours, which is great. Nerve gas spray, number 7. So threats of chemical and biological warfare in the US to start projects such as Project 112 from 1963 to 1970s that involved spraying sailors and ships with sarin and VX in order to test the effectiveness of decontamination.
You do.
You do. What? Elaborate.
As you do.
As you do. So, right. So, yeah, the you didn't. You do.
You do.
You do, as you do. So, imagine being a sailor. Like, you sign up to be a sailor, and then all of a sudden, like, just come over here, sir, please, this way. Yeah. Psh! What just happened? Oh, it's just sarin gas. Don't worry about it.
Just try it, guys. Don't
This
worry
is the
about
same
that.
sarin gas that they used on the subway and killed hundreds in that terrorist attack. Yeah. Oh yeah. Don't worry about it. So sarin VX,
we're going to let you down. We're going to bury you. Before we bury you, we're going to take your testicles, and you're going to be one of the 10,000 people that were, you know, your testicles are going to live in another person. So you basically don't die. You're going to survive, and you're going to carry your genes. Thank you.
If you're lucky, you've got a 20-year-old man's balls in there, or you'd have been fucked, mate.
How old are you? 24. No, we only need 22-year-old.
yeah. Well, that's great. Imagine getting on a boat and everyone on that boat is sprayed with sarin gas. That can't be a very effective boat. You need people to drive said boat, fire guns on boat, but you're all suffering from chemical warfare attacks committed by your own government.
Yeah.
They don't have to spray with sarin gas in US Navy anymore. They basically released a video that you have to start using pronouns.
Yeah, but then they teleported the whole ship, and then they just got mangled into the metalwork, so don't worry about it. That was the same ship. How do we get rid of this evidence, boys? Teleport the ship. Brilliant idea.
The ship.
Well done.
The testicles.
Let's go. And while we're at it, we'll take it to the Arctic and we'll see if UFOs did it. Yeah.
Just cut off the testicles first before you transport it. We need testicos.
We need the testicles.
Price of testicles today, $105 per testicle. Keep them.
Podcast that no one wrote out for. He's got pretty out of hand pretty quick.
He always does.
Number 6
mentioned dildos and testicles.
She always does. I know I should have let it go at the end because it triggered.
What do you mean?
It sets us off. Yeah,
it sets everyone off. Yeah,
we did heists and we was all talking about this sick heist. I think you did a heist in Afghanistan, didn't you? When they was breaking out with the gold, I did the guys that broke into Sweden.
Their own bank.
Yeah. And then Beeb was like, oh, Napoleon's penis got stolen. And then he was like, how did they teleport that, like, in the anus? It was like, for fuck's sake. But, that heist one was actually pretty sick. But the Montauk Project was probably one of the best ones, yeah. So, number 6, hallucinogenic warfare. So, US Army volunteers, obviously, took pot, acid, and angel dust at facilities in Edgewood, MD from 1955 to 1972. Although the drugs were too mellow for combat use, they did create an artillery shell that could disperse powdered quinusolinyl benzite,
nice. Well done.
Which left subjects in a sleep state for days. So, loads of volunteers volunteered, went into this place, and then they got all drugged up. There was all like smoking pot, and there was like taking acid, and there was all just like chill, and they was getting paid for it, and life was good. But then out of this, they made an artillery shell, so it went poof, dispersed the dust on the battlefield, and all the other soldiers were just like dunzo, basically. So you could just come up
for days.
Yeah.
And there's a special team sent onto the field, right? To go with their testicles. Is every one of these 10 gonna end up in testicles offage? Testicle offage.
There's literally just someone wander around with like a little scalpel, like, let's go, boys.
Shit, she has knife.
Oh.
That's a special testicle cut in there. Are you the only one that hasn't got a weapon at the table, ma'am?
No. Shit, I don't.
You have to throw the cat at them. Cat, testicle attack. He's like a Pokemon.
I have a. Listen, that's a battle cat.
Yeah, battle cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the armor in the wash?
Right.
Yeah.
This is only a little scalpel. My knives are downstairs.
That would still take a man's testes, I tell you.
Oh, it would. Yeah, it would slice.
Especially on a hot day like today. They're very stretchy.
Yeah. Where are you? Norfolk. Hey guys, I'm in Norfolk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Let go.
come back
Oh,
feeling a little
dear.
lighter and less
I'm
manly.
45 years old. My testicles are worth shit.
Yeah,
So-
they're done for. They've done what they needed to do. Not happening.
Yeah.
You can take fucking mine and all. One's enough for me. Oh, man. Okay, number
Oh,
5.
dear.
Falling near the speed of sound. So, Project Excelsior. That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Excelsior.
It does actually, yeah.
So,
Reminds
during,
me of something.
it reminds me of something, yeah. During 1950s involved Captain Joseph Kittinger Jr. Going up in weather balloons and free falling on his third. So going up on, the weather balloons go bloody high, man, and then just free falling basically, which is crazy. So it go up on his third jump, August 1960. His record free falling jump took him up to 102,800 feet, or almost 20 miles. He leaped and got up to 614 miles an hour. The speed of sound is 761 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And they got temperature lower than minus 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So, went up. This is in the 1950s. Went up in a weather balloon, jumped out 20 miles up in the air, and hit 614 miles an hour. That's crazy. But then, did you see that Felix guy
That's
on the Red
mad.
Bull jump?
Yeah, he actually
He jumped from
fainted.
space. The Felix guy blacked out and come back in midair because he was in a spin. So the G's of the dive actually passed him out, and then he come back round and then landed it.
No way.
He had
He
that
did,
much
yeah.
time. He jumped from the atmosphere, from space,
Yeah, so he actually proved it.
That's
went
crazy.
up into space and jumped in a full astronaut suit to land.
Yeah, so he basically put the
Free
weather
fall.
balloon, took him up. Yeah, we were watching that one of our.
We did actually watch that.
Yeah,
We could
And
actually
the
put that
man
on at
is-
the end if you haven't seen it, babe.
yeah. And then he saw the flat Earth.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Ring my bell. Just don't take my testes.
Red Bull high altitude jump. Look it up.
Yeah, that was sick, man. Number 4, pacifist guinea pigs. It means people experimenting, not actual guinea pigs. I think guinea pigs are fairly pacifist anyway. 2,300. I didn't write that down. It was just a
No
joke off the top
testicles.
of my head. I hope you liked it. 2,300 pacifist soldiers signed up during 1954 to 1973 in Cold War time. So in Cold War time, people that didn't want to fight the war volunteered to go get deadly viruses and bacteria injected into them, basically, so they could build vaccines. Volunteers recalled, being miserable, having fevers for days, deep aches, and something developed called Q fever. It was called Operation White Coat. So, I mean, we can look a bit further into that. But basically, pacifists didn't want to go with guns and stuff. They were doing their part for the country by volunteering to getting these deadly virus injected into them. And then so they could make the antivirus or whatever, obviously, which was crazy because you're just going there to be ill, basically, for weeks. But I don't know if you get volunteers as well, so you're not getting paid or anything for it. You just have to be ill, probably die, probably get some diseases, which was good. Now, number 3 is called...
Was it though? Was it really good?
Well, it might help in the long run. So, thank you, men that don't like violence. By the way, they all had the balls removed. Pacifists.
Yeah,
No balls. Didn't want to fight. Yeah.
I skipped the previous one as
Drop
well.
fight war?
with
No,
testicles
well, I
and
got no balls. Right, go in there for an
I was like-
injection. Room 3,
Nice.
please.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
They got to get 10,000 from somewhere, so.
Yeah, that's it. So, number 3, Rocket Rider. Before a man could launch into orbit, they rode rocket sleds that go more than 400 miles an hour before screeching to an abrupt halt. In 1954, Colonel John Stapp, S-T-A-P-P, subjected his body to forces 35 times that of gravity, including one record run at 632 miles an hour. He did, oh my god, my right, man. He did 29 sled runs. Well done, Psycho.
Nice.
He suffered concussions, cracked ribs, twice fractured wrist, lost fillings, and burst blood vessels in both eyes. So before you could go to space, you had to do these sled runs. A man reached 6, and it just stopped, boom, dead, like that. So this is like the effects of going up into orbit, into the atmosphere, in a spaceship. And he sat on a sled on a railway thing, basically, going 621 miles an hour, facing the wind, like all ripping to bits, and then it just stops. And then when he goes forward like that, fillings have come out, his eyes are burst, blood shot, ribs have broken, both his wrists snapped.
Oh my god.
Been through some shit, man.
Testicles remained intact.
Yeah, his testicles flew out, Landed in a jar
That's another 2.
and went to a younger man. 2 more for the boys. Let's go.
Yeah.
Roll out. Keep them on ice. So yeah,
ambulance. Is that for me? No, that's for your balls.
that's for your balls. So you'll like this one actually. Number 2. This is probably the most ridiculous one I've got on here. Get your plutonium shot. So
yeah, I got mine. Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you see my fucking club of hair just falls out. Yeah, I'll definitely survive this. So, as of the US Army racing to build the first atomic bombs, they wanted to know more of hazards of plutonium. So they began in April 1945 with the injection of plutonium until the victim of a car crash that was first. Oh, yeah. So they did 400 injections, but the very first person was the victim of a car crash. Imagine having a car crash, waking up, and he getting injected with fucking plutonium. You'll be like, what the fuck have I done to deserve this? Did you kill a family in the back? Because, so obviously he was already in a bad state. I don't know why that was a thing. I probably should have read more into it before I just burst this out to the public. But, yeah. Yeah, so he's just happened to be the first victim, but an injection of plutonium, to help figure out. They didn't know anything about this. Obviously,
so dead.
There was people there's a tiny little ball of plutonium that is in the center of the bomb or whatever. A tiny little ball. I see Beeb. I see.
You see my face. I was like,
yeah, I can see that. I see you doing that in my head. I'll get flashes. I'll wake up tonight sweating. But yeah, basically plutonium shots is fucking ridiculous. But you can't have their balls because they're radiated. Also, there's one called Seeing Infrared. So the US wanted to boost the vision of soldiers during World War II so they could see infrared signals. Scientists used vitamin A and fed volunteer supplements from the livers of the wall-eyed pike, which was really high in vitamin A. It was working then. Scientists invented something electronic instead, so they invented the electric version, and the experiment was abandoned. So pilots, sailors, and stuff like that were getting injected with this wall-eyed pike liver stuff, and they could see better in the dark, like infrared vision, so they could see signals and stuff like that. But then it got scrapped because scientists were like, I've just made this binoculars that can also see infrared, so stop injecting our sailors with weird shit. All right, yeah, that'll do. Nice one. Then they abandoned the project. But Japan actually used them in World War II, and they was on a massive supplement of vitamin A, and in some cases was improved by over 100%. So they could see, obviously being a pilot at night, they could see which ship they was going to fucking crash into, the absolute sadistic wankers. So, Pearl Harbor, that was fun. But without it would have dragged the Americans into the war, and we'd have got fucking done in. So yeah, that's my top 10. Also, the Japanese pilots give their balls up after the injections. So.
Yeah, all the kamikazes they had.
When they ejected, the ball stayed in the plane. Yeah.
Yep.
And then was salvaged and recovered. So, podcast, whatever, number 8, balls.
Yep. Nice.
We didn't make balls out of it, so
we made a balls of it. But yeah, I mean, that's the podcast. Beeb, did you want to watch a guy jump out of a plane from the atmosphere thing, spaceship?
Right, all your listeners, thank you. Good night. Till the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Toodle pip audio people.
Hold on to your balls in case Beep cuts out.
I'm coming for your balls.
Right. Sorry. Before you jump into it, I think I fucked up audio there a couple of times. For some reason, when I press X it just pauses my recording.
So why are you pressing X during recordings?
I have no idea. I was going through a couple of experiments.
Let's get to the bottom of this, shall we?
Maybe
this seems like a human error.
Maybe somebody who's Googling had X in it.
X-tube.
There you go.
There you go. How to remove testicles. I thought testicles spells with X.
Xticles. It's a silent X.
Yeah.
No, but if you don't mind just moving everything to audio for me.
Yeah, I can see.
You know how to do it.
The thing. Not a clue. I'll figure it. It'll be fine. Oh, yeah, I can do that. No worries.
Cheers.
Let's get there's a 1 minute 31 here. Let's get this on and then we can share the screen. Share. Let's go applications, this one. Badoop. I'm going to drag this over to my screen. Right, you got it up, babe? I bet you have. Nice. Right, only a minute 30. Does this ring any bells for you?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, you're about to be absolutely gobsmacked then.
That's a big old balloon.
Yeah, it's off to space, babe.
Oh, what?
And NASA are the biggest buyers of the helium.
That's a big old balloon, that.
That is, look at science book.
What,
You know
happy?
who buys the most helium in the world? NASA.
That's crazy, man. Oh, we're probably gonna get let's
What was the reason of this?
I just wanted to jump. Just
The
to
human
check,
race.
To see if you have balls. Like, there you go. Look.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so he's in the ionosphere
Oh,
or whatever it's
yeah.
called. Wherever he is, he's up there in space. And then douche. Would you? Would you though?
He just goes for it.
That's mad.
That's it. They say 3, 2, 1 and he just leaps out. Look at that. That's his spin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he blacks out in there. They're all clapping. Don't know he's unconscious. Then boom. Look at him. He loves it. Boom. Lands it.
That's mad.
So there is like obviously.
Did he actually like that guy's like crying like, oh my god, we
Yeah,
did
he
it.
loves it. But there is like 20-minute versions and stuff. You can watch the whole jump and all all that stuff. That's 9 years ago. But it was pretty bloody good, man.
How does he like know where he's going to be landing?
He's probably had extensive
on the ground. So
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
just directly below him.
Yeah, but
Wherever the
can't he
balloon
move to
goes,
side, maybe?
wherever the balloon goes up, you're at a direct drop anyway. So
but
where,
he wouldn't.
it'd
he
only
wouldn't
be a
jump
few
straight.
feet. Yeah.
But like, surely when you're going down, if you tilt a little bit, you're going to go that way a little bit. If you tilt a little bit, you're going to go that way a little bit.
He just fucking frisbeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're gonna land somewhere close anyway. There's all the scientists.
mad.
You got NASA working out the predictions. So
Yeah, I
Left a
guess,
little
yeah.
X there on the ground on A4, and that's why you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, you got to
NASA
land
was
on
like,
that.
wind is at 24.6 knots northeast, and he's jumping from this height, and he's going this fast, and he's going to land about there. So thanks,
Mad.
NASA, for inventing space that doesn't actually exist because we live on a dinner plate. And on that bombshell, we'll catch you in the
God
next
damn it.
episode, guys. Thanks for watching.
It's not on our plate. We're supported by 2 crocodiles, 3 turtles, and 2 hippos.
It's the lizard people in the corner. See you
Bye.
next week.